Hi, I'm here to just review a little bit about the ECell's bike and why I got one. As you can see, we've had snow here in New Hampshire, and you're probably wondering why I just bought this when the snow is coming down in the fall and the whole bit. Well, I bought it because first you had to wait for it about 6 weeks, and secondly, I don't think you're going to be able to buy one in a few months because I think they're going to be so popular. The waiting list is going to be a long time. And to me, the ECell's bike is like when you buy a new iPhone. You feel you got a great value and great quality. From the front to the back, there are just a lot of great things on the bike that others had talked to you about before. A couple of things I wanted to point out about my bike that I was lucky to get with it was the front basket. This is the 1500 Crown Monarch, and it comes with everything they say and then some. And the service has been spectacular. Whenever you have a question or whatever, the assembly is pretty straightforward. If you have questions, you can call the company. With a few things I added, I changed the seat, but that's a personal thing. I think there's a little bit more cushiony and comfort-wise. I like it better. And you can move the seat forward or back to get yourself closer to the handlebars, or if you want to be further. I put a bell on and something to hold my cell phone. Other than that, this is how it came. We've had to put some nitrous air in the shocks to stiffen them up. And I've taken it for a ride for 50 miles now, approximately. Gotten a top speed of 37 miles an hour coming down a hill, but realistically about 34 on both wheels. Of course, you don't do that on the street. You do that where it's legal to do it. Most of the time I use the rear wheel motor, and when I'm off-road I usually use both motors. I liked it so much, I brought it to my friend's house here. He used to have a Rad Rover, and we're going to interview him now.
Alright, in August I bought a Rad Rover 5. Put a couple hundred miles on it, thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And it is still a good bike. But my friend Ken bought one of these and I assembled it for him. And by the time I was done putting it together, the next day I put my Rad Rover on Craigslist and bought this. This is a whole different class of bike. It's just unbelievable, the technology and the workmanship in here. What I like the most, it has a gas rear suspension, which makes all the difference in the world, plus the power, 2 motors, 2 batteries. It's a no-brainer. But it is in a different class. It's in a class of its own. You can't compare it to anything else, but it is the bike to have without a doubt. That's my opinion.
One thing I wanted to say about this, okay Dave, stop sitting around. We can leave that in. You see the tire here? The tire
is made out of rubber.
Right, and if you fill it up pretty tight, yes, what happens is it acts on the road like a regular bicycle tire because you only have the center part touching the pavement. So the bike very much behaves like a normal bicycle. And then when you go off the road, it's probably the most awesome off-the-road bike you can ever imagine. It's an incredible experience, right?
Yeah, well, I haven't got to ride mine much, but I did ride yours.
Yeah.
I like to run the pressure a little low because it does add to the comfort of the ride.
But with this new seat, and the dual suspension, I think you'll be enough comfortable.
Well, the rear suspension is basically one of the big selling points because the Rad Rover, it was real. Any hardtail bike, you go over some like chatter bumps and it just beats the heck out of you.
What about the power difference?
Well, you can't even compare the power. I mean, this will go 40 miles an hour.
Yeah. Well, I got to 37 down a hill, and I did do 35 on a road that was legal to do 35 on with another fellow that had a BMW motorcycle.
Yeah.
We're cruising together. It's got all the power you'll ever need. We promise you that. We both have the 1500 Monarchs, the Crown Monarchs. So I like my tires a little more, a little firmer. I think the ride is spectacular. It's as smooth as I ever could imagine, and far smoother than the old bike that you had that we
Well,
go
when
through.
I bought my first bike, I did a lot of research, and they showed this bike as being, you know, one of the outfits showed this as being the top bike, but I didn't want to spend $4,200 on a bike at that time, so I bought the Rad Rover for $1,500. And I'm not knocking Rad Rover, it's good for what it is, but this is a completely different thing. And you know the old saying, you know, don't spend bad money chasing good. So that's gone, and this is the deal. Spend the money, you'll be happy. It's well worth it.
Yeah. And so, like I say, it performs like the bicycle I had hoped it would be when I'm on pavement, and when I go up the road, it's just wonderful. All right, I think we answered all the questions, right? That people may say. But okay, thanks for watching. Okay. Any other comments about the bike?
Well, my buddy Ken got this for me.
Nice.
Gotta have one.
Why'd you get black?